Pittsburgh fighter here as we move into the pro ranks. Josh Fremd taking on Robert Gidron.
And in the pro divisions, ladies and gentlemen, anything goes. And we move to 5-minute rounds.
3 5-minute rounds.
I know this is one fight you were looking forward to heading into tonight's event.
Definitely two super athletic middleweights. We're going to have Jazz Secure go ahead and bring them out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the professional fights tonight? Who's ready for the co-main event of the night? Make some noise in the house. Our first professional fight, your co-main event of the night, is brought to you by Rehab Center. It is in the Pinnacle Fighting Championships middleweight division. Let's bring them out. Please welcome Robert. But before we do that,
A little confusion on what's going down next, but I have a feeling it's going to be the Mark Cherico
we pause for a brief special presentation.
Hall of Fame induction.
Mr. Click.
Can't forget about Cherico.
Pinnacle Fighting Championships. I need a very, very, very special guest to come up here in the cage tonight. He has more Pinnacle fights than anybody in Pinnacle's history. He is a living legend for the Pinnacle cage. Please welcome Pinnacle and UFC fighting veteran Mark, the Pride of Bloomfield, Cherico.
He gets his own entrance music. You don't need to make his head bigger than it already is.
Hey, the legend of Pittsburgh here.
This, honestly, I mean, this was even though he's not fighting, this was definitely a part of the show that I think a lot of people are looking forward to, including me.
This was a surprise to me. My friend Matt Layshock, owner and promoter of Pinnacle Fighting Championships, thought that this was fitting. But me and Mark have been doing this together for a long time, 2008 or 2009 to be exact. This guy is the heart of Pittsburgh MMA. He puts his heart and soul into everything. He helped Pinnacle Championships get lifted off the ground. He's from right here in Bloomfield, Pennsylvania. One more time, make some noise for Mark Cherico. Mark, absolute honor to have you back here in the cage. Much rather have you competing. It doesn't seem normal to be talking to you in here without seeing that. But so happy to have you, so happy to honor you. What's in store for Mr. Cherico? What's going on in your life? And congratulations.
I'm just trying to get my neck healthy, hopefully get back in here, but I got to get that right first. My beautiful wife, I can't see her, she's somewhere right there. She's pregnant, we're having twin girls, so that's coming up. We got about 2 months for that. So I got to kind of prep that. After that, she said I can get back in there, so I just got to get my neck right. Once the neck's right, hopefully we can do some good fights here.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the heart and soul of Pinnacle Fighting Championships. One more time, make some noise for Mark, the Pride of Bloomfield, Cherico.
Cherico, I think, has a cheeseburger named after him now. He's got a big plaque and the best hair in the building, so I don't know. And 2 twin girls on the way.
He just has a busy life.
Yeah.
He's a busy life outside the cage.
Definitely a super busy guy. But we do want to see him back in the Pinnacle cage. I know that he wanted to get back in there for this event for the return. But I think we'll see him in there sooner rather than later for the return. We're going to send it out to Jazz Secure. Now we're going to have a pro fight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our co-main event brought to you by Rehab Center in the PFC middleweight division. Let's bring out your fighters. Please welcome Robert Gidron.
Robert Gidron, 25 years old, 2-1 MMA record. Representing Murcielago MMA out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Won his first 2 pro bouts, but came up short against Muhammad Abdullah, who is, that's not a bad
Easy
blemish
fight.
to be on your record. I mean,
No, not
Muhammad
at
is
all.
a super tough, well-rounded guy out of Dayton, Ohio, and coming in another tough opponent here in Josh Fremd here tonight. Robert Gidron, though, earlier in his career, in his amateur career, kind of went viral and had a crazy, ridiculous like suplex slam that he knocked the guy out. We posted it on Bluegrass MMA earlier this week, and I had like 4 or 5 people message me and say, that's crazy. I can't believe they let that guy still fight because he's going to hurt somebody. So nevertheless, here he's coming out, but he's definitely a tough dude who he likes to slam his opponents, and super athletic guy.
I mean, you can tell by his build right now that, you know, he's not one to mess around with. He's going to utilize his power to do those slams, to pick you up, slam you down, and then ground and pound.
Yeah, I mean, also, I believe he had actually his last fight at 170 pounds, and now coming back up to 185 pounds. And looking at him, I don't know what other part of his body he can cut, what weight there is to cut. It's a pretty crazy physique that he has there. I know he had actually some issues getting down to 170, and says, hey, I'd rather be my super athletic, crazy, explosive self here at 185 and maybe fight guys who might be a little bit bigger.
Right, and that weight cut to 170 might have been too taxing on his body, and that could be one of the reasons that led to that loss. And he's like, you know, I don't want to deal with that anymore. I'm going to come back up to what I consider my natural weight class, and he can continue on that. You know, if that was the case, he shouldn't have lost that fight. He should still be undefeated right now. But you know, he unfortunately has that one loss on his record.
See Antonio Castillo Jr., Pinnacle FC veteran in his corner here, representing Midwest Training Center as well, out of Chicago. They're a tough dude. His opponent is going to come out.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the cage his opponent. Here is Josh Fremd.
Josh Fremd, 24 years old, 2-0 record. Take a look here at the tail of the tape. 6'4" against a 6'1" Josh, 6'1" Robert Gidron.
Yes, the tail tape, I believe the records are flipped. Gidron is the one with 2-1 record. Fremd is the undefeated 2-0.
And Josh Fremd has been impressive in those 2 wins. Took on Warren Roberts last year, and then also picked up a victory in his Bellator MMA debut. And his fight against Warren Roberts was interesting. He actually got dropped in the first round and came back and was able to pick up a TKO win himself early on in the second round. And it was it looked like that basically lit a fire under him when he got dropped in the first round of that fight, because he came out in the second round and looked like a different guy. But he's one of those guys, I think, that has been a little under the radar because there's been so many fighters coming out of the Pittsburgh area, Cherico, Kamaworthy, Dominic Mazzata, Nick Brown, all those guys. But Josh Fremd have put together an impressive amateur career and now 2-0 on his pro career against a couple of tough guys.
Yeah, he's had quite an interesting career. He ended his amateur side of it, 5 straight wins, came to his pro, 2 straight wins, essentially hasn't lost a fight in 7 fights, which date back all the way to 2015.
Definitely, I know. I believe he also fought for a Pinnacle title as an amateur. Has a win over Jose Martinez, who's going to be on The Ultimate Fighter.
So he's got a wealth of experience inside the cage, and tonight's going to be no different.
Of course, representing Uniontown Fight Club, Bill Bosley in his corner. Nick Brown as well.
You know, if you had a pinpoint, how do you see this fight going?
You know, I think that Fremd is a big dude, and it's going to be hard for Gidron to throw him around, but we'll see. Josh, Jazz Sakura with the official introduction. Professional middleweight action here at Pinnacle FC 16. Robert Gidron in the white and blue. Josh Fremd in the black. No glove touch here. These are two guys who are going to throw some heavy leather. Two big guys. Middleweight is honestly one of my favorite divisions because the guys have the power and the speed. Gidron now with the top position on the ground here. Fremd now looking to try to get the heel hook. Looks like this might be pretty tight. He actually punched him in the back there. Surprised that the referee didn't call that. Punched him right in the back. Gidron now has the back of Josh Fremd. Fremd now trying to fight the hands here, maybe get back to his feet. Gidron with the hip ride. Gidron trying to lock those hooks in. Needs to get that if he really wants to be able to control Josh Fremd and maybe lock in a rear naked choke. Josh Fremd now back to his feet. Gidron immediately drags him back down. Fremd now regains guard. Gidron likes to be in this position. This is where he really wants to be on top. Looking to try to work ground and pound.
It's been an interesting fight so far, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Gidron is where he wants to be. He loves to wrestle. 2 minutes gone here in the first round. It's professional middleweight action. Couple shots to the body there from Gidron. Fremd now trying to make some space. Elbow there from the top from Gidron. His corner calling for it. Fremd now maybe trying to look for an arm bar here, throwing up his legs. Doesn't have control of the arm though. Looking for the leg again. Thought he had that heel hook the first time he locked it in.
Looks like Fremd might be giving up his back here.
Yeah, big shot there, big left hand to the head from Robert Gidron. Fremd now trying to get back to his feet. You hear the crowd coming alive for the hometown fighter. Fremd now trying to get the leg, get a takedown, but Gidron throwing a couple punches there to the ear. Good pinpoint striking there. Fremd is in a bad position here. He needs to get out and get back to his feet. Finally back to his feet here. See if Gidron still has.
Gidron able to muscle him back down to the ground.
Yeah, he's a super strong dude. Even, I mean, with a guy who might have a little bit bigger of a frame in Fremd, Gidron is a super strong dude. Now, Fremd has the clinch up against the cage and looking for a throw of his own, and that might have been a mistake there as Gidron ends up on top now in mount.
Just over a minute left here in the first round.
Plenty of time to work here.
Fremd's in a very bad position. If Gidron can create some space, he can rain down some shots.
Yeah, Gidron's corner calling for elbows, and Fremd now gives up his back again.
Gidron has it looks like.
Both hooks are in.
Yeah.
40 seconds left to go here in the first round. Right hand there from Gidron lands. Needs to try to flatten Fremd out here.
Yeah, Gidron's a little off center here, making his bounce a little bit hard.
A little too high too.
Oh,
has
nice.
a neck crank here.
That looked
Not
vicious.
even under the chin, but that's vicious as he is cranking hard on that, but Fremd is out. And even if that didn't finish Fremd, man, that looked vicious.
That left an impression on the judges' scorecards.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely
Another
a
one.
round for Gidron here. Fremd trying to get some momentum heading in maybe into the second round. Didn't hear the whistle to end the round initially. The referee, Chip Snyder, jumps in, always on top of things.
I think that's a good round for Gidron.
Yeah, definitely a good round. I mean, other than that one heel hook attempt early in the first round, it was all Robert Gidron. Take a look here. I believe we might see that neck crank attempt. He was cranking on that. You see the face of Fremd immediately getting red. And it's going to be tough to finish a professional. That's a painful submission, but it's not something that is usually going to make a experienced pro like Josh Fremd tap, but nevertheless, you never like getting your neck wrenched like that.
No, not at all.
That's painful.
Seconds out. Now we're getting ready to head into the second round of our co-main event here at Pinnacle FC 16.
And I think if you're Fremd, you got to tell, if you're his corner, you got to tell him, you got to stay on your feet this round. Fremd trying to throw that head kick there. See Gidron now trying to counter everything that Fremd throws. A body kick there from Gidron. I was going to say that early in the first round, middleweights are like a perfect blend of speed and power. Nice trip takedown there from Fremd. Ends up on top. Looks like he might be almost working into the mount.
Gidron gave up his back.
Yeah, Fremd now looking to try to finish this fight here up against the cage. Gidron now back to his feet. This is almost kind of like how Fremd's career has gone so far. He needs to get punched in the mouth a little bit in the first round and then kind of comes alive in the second. Trying to drag Gidron back to the ground, but Gidron ends up on top. That's just the athleticism and the wrestling background of Gidron. Short little elbow there from Gidron.
Fremd going to use the cage here to walk out from underneath.
Yeah, try to come out the back door here. Minute and a half gone here in round number 2. Another short little elbow. Those are the ones that sometimes are the most damaging. You don't have to wind up at all on an elbow. And Fremd has the arm. Gidron does a good job, though.
And escaping.
Of scrambling out. Fremd still has control of that left arm, but Gidron throws a big hammering blow that just missed. Just landed on the mat. He throws everything with bad intentions, especially on the ground. Gidron trying to take the back of Fremd again. I think he might actually really just like this hip ride position here. He's able to throw some strikes, and Fremd trying to grab a hold of maybe that Kimura grip. Maybe just a turn out and turn back into Gidron. Gidron with the knee to the thigh there.
I think that's what he needs to do right now.
Yeah, Fremd needs to just turn into him.
We're now heading into uncharted territory for Fremd, as we are now the longest point. He's now fighting more than he's ever fought in his professional career.
And scrambles out there. Tried to end up on top. Now looking to try to finish this takedown here on Gidron. Up against the cage, looks like he's trying to get a single leg. And if Fremd wants to finish this takedown, he's got to get his hips below Gidron. You see this position a lot in MMA. It's really almost a stalemate position because the guy that's defending the takedown also has the added best friend of the cage there. That makes it harder for the opponent to finish the takedown. Fremd still trying to get this single leg, trying to elevate Gidron and slam him. That's a nice slam there from Josh Fremd, but Gidron now again ends up on top. He always seems to scramble out and end up on top. Fremd trying to scramble out here. Minute left to go here in round number 2. Just the constant pressure here from Gidron, stymieing everything that Fremd is able to do. Fremd now has the back of Gidron and slams Gidron. Gives him a little taste of his own medicine here. 30 seconds left to go in round number 2. Let's see what Fremd can do with it. See some, looks like blood on the back of Gidron. I believe that might be from Fremd. Fremd trying to flatten him out here, trying to take the back, and has one hook in. Ten seconds left to go here in round number 2. Gidron again ends up on top.
Able to reverse out of that.
And that is blood coming out of the nose there of Josh Fremd.
It was a tough round for both of them.
Yeah, I think that Gidron trying to suck the will out of Josh Fremd. You saw a little bit of a exasperated look there on Fremd at the end of the second round. Just a nice slam there from Fremd, but you see Gidron just flips those hips over, scrambles out, and ends up on top. That's what you get from years and years of wrestling.
All but one of the takedown attempts from both fighters has been reversed, and the other fighter
ends up on top, yeah. They're two, super athletic guys.
It's going to be one heck of a third round. I don't know how you score this, Dave.
I think the first 2 rounds probably went to Gidron. So if you're Fremd's corner, you're telling him, hey, you got to stay on your feet and maybe go for a broke.
What do you do for Gidron coming to the third round?
Look for more of the same, try to put him on his back. Look for that takedown.
It's been working so far for him.
Yeah. Maybe less 50-50 positions, less scrambles. Maybe try to go for an offensive takedown, because the interesting thing about Gidron is even though he ends up on top and the fight's been on the ground, it's really been Fremd who's been trying to look for the takedown more than Gidron.
That was a weird start to the round there. Gidron didn't come out of his corner.
Leg kick from Josh Fremd. Gidron trying to throw the head kick there. Whiffs on it. Got to set those up.
Now, do you think Fremd should have abandoned the takedown and keep standing?
I think maybe that's the best, at least for a minute or 2. He's a longer guy. Maybe try to keep Gidron on the outside. Definitely looks like the game plan may have been changed up a little bit here for Fremd in the third round. And Fremd, interestingly, has Gidron backed up against the cage, but now backing off, and they're back to the center of the cage. Interesting, he looked like he had him backed in their corner and didn't capitalize on that. And then maybe being a little bit gun shy from some of those failed takedown attempts and just seeing how athletic Gidron is.
You can see Gidron setting up for that left hook there, anticipating the takedown.
Yeah, briefly switch position or switch stances. Let's see Fremd if he sets up that head kick with the left hand. Might be able to land it. A little bit slower pace here in round number 3. Both of these guys have exerted a ton of energy. 3 minutes left here. Fighters trade left hooks, and it's Gidron now with the takedown here. Antonio Castillo in the corner of Gidron telling him to throw the left elbow. And if there's a fighter that knows about ground and pound, it's Antonio Castillo.
Indeed.
Josh trying to get back to his feet here. Gidron back in the guard of Josh Fremd. Fremd trying to throw some elbows off of his back here.
He needs to position himself to go for a submission attempt.
Looking for omoplata. These are hard. That's a hard submission to finish, especially because he doesn't have the angle here. Needs to be able to get the left shoulder of Gidron to the mat to be able to finish this. Gidron's a strong dude, though. Maybe transition here, maybe to an armbar attempt, but Fremd now looking to try to get the Kimura here. Maybe a tough angle here. Minute and a half left to go here.
Gidron's just keeping that pressure too tight, too heavy on Fremd right now.
I mean, the perfect, I think, parallel to his game, I think, is he's very similar to the guy that's in his corner in Antonio Castillo, a guy that's not going to give you an inch to breathe and is going to smother you and just basically take your will, and that's how he's going to beat you.
So far, it's working out for him.
Chip Snyder standing him up here.
Definitely the best interest of Fremd here if he wants to take this fight.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely needs to turn it on here in the last minute if he wants to win. But he hasn't thrown a punch yet, 15 seconds in to getting that stand up. Threw that kick there, a knee that landed there. Looked like that might have bloodied the nose of Gidron. Fremd has got to finish this fight here if he wants to win. 29 seconds.
I think he shouldn't have gone for that takedown.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was a desperation move there or what, but I don't know how good of an idea what that was against a super tough wrestler like Gidron and try to go for a takedown. 10 seconds left to go in this fight. See if Gidron can hang on here, the top position into the fight.
That's all.
Great performance there by Robert Gidron.
Able to bounce back from his loss against Muhammad Abdullah.
And fighting that guy at middleweight.
I think this one's going to go to scorecards 30-27 across the board.
Yeah, I definitely think that Robert Gidron is going to take home the win. We get a little visit here from Mark Jericho. Take a look at the replay. Left hook there from Fremd. That was one of his best punches there. That was toward the end of the fight. But just too much offense and too much top pressure there from Robert Gidron throughout the entire fight. It seemed like no matter what, he always ended up on top. Whether he was the guy looking for the takedown or whether he was the guy getting taken down. And as we mentioned, I mean, that kind of mirrors the fighting style of the guy that was in his corner, Antonio Castillo. And it's a really tough fighting style for anybody to face. And one of the things I would want to ask Jericho is how do you prepare for a guy like that? Like a guy that you know exactly what he's going to do, and how do you prepare for a really tough guy like that?
Yeah, I mean,
that's a tough opponent to prepare for.
Oh, absolutely it is.
We're having Mark Jericho sit in here. New Pinnacle FC Hall of Famer, Mark Jericho. I was done talking to Juan anyway. We'll get the official result here from Jazz Securo.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of fighting, we go to your judges' scorecards. Judge Gation, Corley, and Kruska all score the fight 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision, Robert the Silverback Gidron.
Robert Gidron with the win there, and going to get to talk to Dave Click here momentarily.
All right, Pittsburgh, I'm here with Robert the Silverback Gidron, improving his record to 3 wins and 0 defeats. 3-1, I'm sorry, he's an honest man. Hey man, you came in here, you worked your game, you resisted the takedown, you won the offensive battle on your feet as well. Congratulations, you come in here from Chicago, Illinois, and you impressed the Pinnacle Fighting Championship fans. Tell us how you're feeling after that very, very impressive victory.
I mean, I feel good, man. I can't complain, you know what I mean? I moved over to MTC. It was a better fit for me, better family. I can't complain, man. I got to give it all to MTC, man. All MTC. Hey, I want to do a shout out to Lane, Law Firm. Hey, man, thank you for everything. I appreciate you for your sponsorship and everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope to see him back here at Pinnacle from Chicago, Illinois, representing the Midwest Training Center, Robert the Silverback Gidron.